Welcome to today's channeled message. I won't be channeling live, though that might change with this recording. I'm bringing forward some information that my guides showed me energetically and visually. And it's quite, well, it's not just quite, it's a big, vast subject. And if you channel or you've been following others that channel, or you've had readings or healings, you will be aware that the information that we receive often is beyond or has been beyond our intellectual understanding or the container of words and our usual thinking. It's because it's become outside. It's come outside of our human way of being, the status quo. It has come outside of, and this is I've pulled three sacred geometry cards to help illustrate what I was shown. It's outside of the box, basically. So we've been used to living in a structure, a container, a shared understanding, where linear time exists. This is our perception, I would suggest, of Earth. I'm not saying the physical Earth is a cube, but our perception. Hence, we have a lot of people who say we are on a flat Earth. And it's true in some ways, or their way. It is part of their and our experience. We're vertical beings moving across horizontally. Yes, that's flat Earth. The wider perspective, we understand that we're in this globe. So we already can see how two very different truths can exist at the same time. The other two cards I shuffled and they leapt out actually together. The second one was the heart torus, which is the heart intelligence, the toroidal breath that links spiritually, soulfully, energetically, the breath of life, moves up our middle pillar, through our main chakra system, and out and links in with the center and the heart of Mother Earth Gaia, and connects with the energetic field of the earth. And the energy vibration from our heart center is vast and is connected with the heart intelligence. And the heart intelligence is more, you could say, more expansive therefore than the logical linear mind intelligence. We have many different intelligences. We have the mind, we have the body, we have the heart. There's lots of layers of how we perceive and store and understand. And then the last card was a very shamanic one, showing a portal there, a gateway to the secret garden, the sacred space where we can connect with our soul and journey beyond time and space, of linear time and space, journey astrally, astral travel. So what they showed me was more of us individually, and therefore the collective, are arriving. Okay, we've got linear language trying to explain multidimensional quantum language here. This has been very tricky for me to try and think, how on earth can I start explaining what they showed me? But I'm attempting. I mean, this is the very illustration of how many of us are feeling. We've got 1 foot here and 1 foot there, and it can feel very disabling. Energetically, our body can feel, like the carpet is being pulled from under us. We can start getting all this, people talk about ascension symptoms, not feeling grounded because of it. We don't know where we are, who we are, questioning everything. So our mind feels all in confusion. It's a lot. So this is another area that might help explain why we're feeling a bit out of place or out of sorts, or we don't know what to think, because our thinking has been programmed through the language which is linked, being like this, to linear time. Our schooling, is very structured, very structured. We have certain subjects that are taught in a certain way. We're tested on those subjects. There's specific questions and there's specific answers to those specific questions. It's very delineated. To think outside of the box can seem very risky. It goes to that root chakra of if we think outside of the box, will we be thrown into survival mode? Will we be in exile? It can seem life-threatening, because if we are rejected from the collective, how do we survive? So there's a lot of fear around thinking outside of the box or energetically being different. Hence, there's all those experiments and studies about group dynamics. If you act outside of the group, it literally goes to the core. And that's why during the COVID situation, it was so easy for people. Wasn't easy. The fear was triggered a lot in order to enable certain groups of people to make sure that the collective was behaving in certain ways. I'll leave it at that. I mean, for instance, just to further illustrate that, in this country they created a special department to study behaviour during that time, to make sure that the collective were complying to what they needed the collective to do. And we all remember those times, which is very recent. So now I will leave it at that. So what the guide showed me, and very much anchoring in through my higher self when I was walking through the forest today, I wasn't asking about this, it just dropped in, was that we are creating more consciously. So it's been happening already in the other dimensions, but it takes more time to filter through into the physical, because the physical dimension is slower. And so we have been already co-creating this in higher, faster, lighter frequencies, is this container, this collective container for the awareness, the awakening, the blossoming of our consciousness, enabling us to shift out of linear time into quantum. And it's very much like this toroidal field. It's not linear, this process, because multidimensionality in quantum is not linear. And it is very anchored in the body through our breath, and the breath, the energetic breath of Mother Earth, Gaia. And so we are gaining a broader, consciously, a broader, wider, higher, lighter perspective on why we were called here. Now, I'm not using the phrase which might have been quite handy. I could have said, we were called here at this time. But of course, that phrase comes with an assumption of time is linear. We were called here at this time. But there is no fixed, rigid, linear time. It's all moving. So hence, again, I'm illustrating how our language, which is how we are programmed to perceive and keep reinforcing the shared reality. And so as we're being dismantled and dismantling the 3D as we evolve is hard because we don't know how to describe what is occurring in the linear language, the 3D. So we are creating this vessel, a sacred vessel, which is very dynamic. It's not linear. As we breathe in and then we breathe out, and there's a pausing in between. There's a conversation, there's a movement, not very much like the tides come in and out. So therefore it's not about getting anything right or wrong, or there being a set time. It is not that structure. And yet, because we've been dismantled, we're changing, we're evolving, we're transforming, it is necessary for us to be in the unknowing, the darkness, to dissolve like a caterpillar will dissolve totally into liquid in the chrysalis. Where does that consciousness go when they go from a caterpillar into liquid? Now, liquid, that will have a lot of water. And water we call source. And I have had many experiences over the years of water, the source vibration, speaking to me. And more people over the recent years have been evidencing this, showing this, revealing this. We had that Japanese guy, which I can never remember what his name was. It showed if you talked to water in a certain way or different emotional states, it would alter the structure of water. And then there's this lovely lady recently who's even expanded on that and shown that the water will literally change its form to reflect either a picture or an image or an idea. Literally will illustrate it like you've suddenly drawn a picture. Water has spoken to me saying that it holds the Akashic record of all life and not just on earth, because water is needed for life on earth and passes through every living being on this earth. So hence it's very important here that we have this portal, which is that lake there. And so as we are becoming conscious to this dynamic spiritual ecosystem that's not linear, that we are holding, creating a container which is the toroidal, the flow of this energy, we are becoming conscious, more and more conscious, expanding and expanding. And we are realizing that we're not just here on our own linear exploration and individuation. We are collectively here. Collectively, we called ourselves in for this container. And as more of us shift and evolve, because it's this momentum, the container is getting more, it's not solid because we're moving out of the old 3D, but it's getting more defined. We're becoming more conscious of it. It's, in a way, it feels like it's becoming alive. We're birthing this container. And so we are evolving out of the linear perception of, I'm just on my journey, I live and then I die, I have a life review, then I come back and I live, and on this very individual process. That has completed. We know it's completed. I think it was 3 years ago, the angelic one said, humanity is now experiencing a collective life review. One, you are all alive in the physical. So not only are we experiencing life reviews while we are alive in the physical, but it's a collective life review. And then I realise, they're speaking about the end times, judgment. It took a little while for me to suddenly click in, that's their way and my way of understanding what is, where we are. I'm sure that as the next days unfold, I will get a further understanding of what they dropped in today. It's so vast. This is as far as I've been able to manage to articulate verbally. So it's all perfect, it's all divine. With this, I'm now realizing and understanding how we are becoming more, I would not say becoming, we're evolving to a vaster state of being, while at the same time having our very individual human experiences. And so we're standing one foot in the 3D in the old way and another foot in the evolving new way, and it can be very unstabilizing, feeling we don't know where our footing is, where is our path. So this awareness that we were called here and we have a job as creator beings, we are assisting the evolution. Really makes more sense to me today. And because of that, our guides can't say, this is what's going to happen and this is what you are about and this is where you're going and this is what... It's more vast than that. And because we've got one foot here and one foot there, it's because it's all meant to be occurring physically. And it is, in the old linear language, one step at a time. It has to be at that pace. We're going at the pace that is perfect for us. And so we will be having our human experience at the same time as connecting to the vast multidimensional experiences, including light and dark. When we connect to the realizing, it's not just my individual path and not just my guides, and we start having a collective astral awareness. We start linking into an astral collective consciousness, humanity's higher consciousness. I need to turn that off. I always forget to turn it off. And then we realise, we are able to move up into that collective consciousness and perceive from a broader, wider, lighter, higher perspective. And we go out of the box. We perceive the box, and yet we are also creating the box and inside the box. And so then we are feeling and being and realizing the bigger, broader picture. When they dropped me this in, I often love to think about, especially in the summer, when I look at a dragonfly. They have a period of time of existing. They move in a certain rhythm and pace. We could perceive from our human experience that they don't live a long time, but they move at a different pace. And a dragonfly, say if they had, I know this all, if it's all like, they do not, well, they don't have, well, who knows, maybe they do have self-awareness, maybe they do. Shamanically, you could argue that there's many who believe that they do. Anyway, just imagine that they do. That they're reflecting on life and the meaning of life like we do. And they look on us and they think, oh, they live 80 years, 100 years, and I only live a few. But they do not perceive time like we do. I mean, they're so magical, aren't they? They live underwater, they have a whole life, then they go into a cocoon, and then they birth again, and they have another whole life. That's why they are such divine, magical beings. I often like to ponder on how their existence, because they move so fast, for instance, could be 80 years. We move at a certain pace, and for me, life consciousness is more about rhythm and pace, and therefore sound, rather than length of time. Like dogs, I got a lovely divine four-legged dog being here. She's in the now moment, and she will, I don't know how long her life expectancy will be, 10 years, 8 years, 15 years. She's a Jack Russell. In previous years they could live up to 20, but I will go into all the toxins and everything and how that's limiting, and I won't go into all of that. That's another subject about big pharma, etc. But yes, who knows? She has her soul agreement to be alive for a certain period of time, but she will not, I imagine, be thinking, oh, I only live for a certain period of time. That life is that container, and is not about lack or more than enough. They are living and existing outside of linear time. They're not thinking about time like we do. And so their full length of life is equivalent to another being's full length of time. And so I like to perceive and ponder, oh, a dragon's life is as long as my life, because it's a life and they are moving at a different rhythm. I hope I make myself clear. So that is what we're moving out of with this box. And shamans and working shamanically, you're able to connect with other fields of consciousness, other beings that are resonating in a different time frame. And so you move not just your consciousness into a different astral dimension, you are able to access the flow of life and consciousness through other beings' perception. It's not delineated. Soul is included in all life. Source God is holding all of consciousness. And I do feel, especially with dogs, that they are particular guardians, guides to open up our heart space and be present in the now, to enable us to shift as gracefully and gently with Mother Earth Gaia into what you could say New Earth and 5D. So we're going to be perceiving outside of the box more and more. We may suddenly leap out and then leap back in again. We're in this 1 foot here, 1 foot there, and like, oh my God, it can seem, I think, probably more challenging in a way. But I think we're also, I feel, becoming more conscious of that we're doing this. I feel the more we're able to tune into how our body is feeling, the more we'll be able to be more consciously aware of, oh, that's what's happening. And then we will enable choice. But it's nothing, I don't feel we don't need to effort. All this is just the mind and my ego and the other parts of me and my ancestral DNA, all those other more human aspects going, oh, I understand what's going on now. Okay. And trying to frame it in a certain way. This grand experience we're having. And so I'll probably get more understanding of what has been dropped in today, and it will continue to evolve. But it does feel very beautiful, and it does feel to me connected to the Holy Grail, that this holding container is not just a metaphor replacing time, our understanding of linear time. We are creating a container. We're co-creating a container inside, outside, within the different dimensions, to hold the different dimensions. So it becomes like a ship as well, a vehicle to help move us through and out of linear structure. So we're not just, for instance, sitting on a train. We are the train. We are the stations. We are the train tracks. Yes. So I think I'll leave it there. I look forward to having more of a understanding of what they brought through, and then I'll be able to, I'm sure there'll be more be developed with that. But it's all in divine timing as well. I'm sure there's other people who, where they're resonating and how they're perceiving and their way of being in language, they're probably, holding other perceptions and ways of describing this. And so we each are holding our own perception, our own frequency, our own language, our own jigsaw piece of the puzzle. We're not on our own. We are coming together in the most beautiful, magical ways. And that for me is what was shown today. It's not just a linear journey. We're not individuals that happen to be doing this collectively. We not only individually chose to be here, there is a collective choice. When people connect with galactic guides, there is this, I feel there's been just an assumption, because it comes from the heart and soul intelligence, that there is a unity consciousness, a particular consciousness with those maybe galactic beings. So the Arcturians, the Palladians, they're individuals, but they have arrived at a unity way of being, a consciousness. And that is what we are evolving to in our own unique way. And I feel, as I relay this, their excitement, because our way is not going to be their way. Because we're different, we're human. And with that, I'll leave that. That'll be for another video. That'll be, because that's another message they've been dropping in about what does it mean to be human? And how does that connect with us being soulful and being part of the divine plan and our sovereignty within that? But I will leave that for another video, because there's a specific message that they keep relaying to me, which I think will be very useful, because there's a lot of conversation around this about our origins and our sovereignty within our origins, and there's a lot of structures and beliefs and around that. So let's take a breath and pause. I think I'm going to pick one card from the tarot and one card from Supra just to complete. Just ask the Divine Ones, is there any other added information that would be useful? Oh, that's rather perfect. Then I got this one as well. And then this one. Okay, we've got 3. Right. It's interesting, I get the same cards. So I had this one yesterday, which felt like a lighthouse in a way, a Ace of Swords pointing the way, divine inspiration, new birth, because it's Ace, that light inspiration, receiving divine inspiration, cutting away also density, but there's that beautiful infinite space within the point, the point of where 1,000 million billion angels can dance. 2 of Wands, the gateway, new horizons. It's like a lighthouse. You've got this circles which kind of feel like a sound. That beautiful blue pathway. Whoops. Sorry. Beautiful blue pathway up there. That feels like our consciousness and a star. Antennae. Receiving and giving. Communication, divine communication. And then the 4 of Pentacles. Structure. How do we shift from this is what we know, this is what I'm holding on to, and I'm feeling confident that there is more, there's abundance, we're not losing, or we may the more we hold on, the harder it's going to be to receive. We've gained so much, and maybe it's time to take a leap out of those 4 walls, beyond what we have known and feel safe with, so we don't become our own barriers. Okay, let's see now. Abundance. Whoa. Okay, so we got, I love that, everydayness, source, beauty, new earth, it's all here. And then that's not focusing. It's all here in nature. Look at that beautiful, it's a lovely little bird. It looks like a lapwing, but it's a bit, anyway. There we go. And then sincerity, reaching out, sincere. With this in together. So being in the now, being present, I do really feel that is key in this everydayness. Let's see now, I'm going to look it up. Everydayness 75. Where's sincerity? It's 97. 75. Everydayness. There is an old biblical saying, the stone which the builders rejected as worthless turned out to be the most important of all. This is the meaning of everydayness. It is finding and recognizing the great nurturing value of humility in ourselves and all things. It is a process of becoming attentive to the quiet and practical, so that their essential beauty and strength can be revealed and recognized as the tenor or cornerstone of our lives. A life that values the everyday is one that can reach a wholeness that allows you to travel further than you have ever imagined in the world, and more importantly, within your own mind. This practical usefulness is your own protected corner of strength in the world, where you find endurance to sustain you for however long your journey is, and for whatever adversities you encounter along the way. And the key words are humility, nourishment, wholeness, strength, essential. Because I feel if we discount the everyday that we're living, we are discounting ourselves. The physical, the aches and pains, the imperfection, the brushing of our teeth, the whatever it is, the everyday, the life that we've been gifted. When we go into escapism, bypassing, denial, judgment, comparison, we're splitting ourselves. We're not valuing the beauty of who we are and one another, and connecting with that heart, that inherent. It's love. It's not just our understanding of love, because Mother Earth, Gaia, the vast soulful nature being, has mountains and earthquakes and tornadoes and volcanoes and butterflies and delicate flowers. The whole vastness of that is love. It can be challenging for us to comprehend, because that's perfect, because we are part of and yet observing. Right, sincerity. I have to look it up again. I thought I could remember. I'm dyslexic, and so okay, here we go. Sincerity. An honourable expression is one that is sincere. Its effortlessly touches the inner core of our beings, with its offer to witness and recognise the promised trust and love that is inwardly mirrored there. It is the universal emotion used to gather and hold all transient beauty in its enduring protective grasp. Oh, this is poetry. And the key words are trust, loyalty, friendship, support, respect. I think for me, the word was in the previous reading, which feels the previous card is humility. So when we're sincere, I feel we are humble, we have humility. There's an assuredness, there's a confidence that's inward. It's not showing, it's not having to prove, it's giving. It feels very much very supportive. Being able to reach a hand is, I am sincere. And when I say that, my hand goes to my heart. I'm trustworthy. Everything is right in the world. There's, it feels that central compass, that anchor. It's not belligerent, it's not rigid. There's flexibility. I feel there's, in certain communication, in certain words hold vast vibrations. And that's interesting. When at the beginning of this show I was struggling with, how can I even frame or describe what they gifted me? But then I read this and it's poetry, and then I realise There's many vibrations in the language, in the word. Loyalty, trust, friendship, support and respect. To me, that's beautiful that this card came up, because in my trying to describe, in a way, the technicalities, the perception of what is awakening and what is time and why we're called here, we come to a very heartfelt description of what they were showing me, of how we are not doing this on our own. We're not being done to. This whole container vessel will include all our guides and divine ones, ascended ones, the spirit frequency and love. We move into mutual respect. I feel there's something infinite and eternal. And in the question I was asking yesterday, but how can myth and the mythical exist in quantum? I feel it exists through this vibration, this sincerity. There is the wonder and the awe, the God source, goddess source, delights in all the diverse life of creation, and delights in the exploration and the sovereignty of these beings, these vast beings. These planets are huge, and there's umpteen universes, and so source is more vast than we can comprehend from this structure. And so the myth, the mythical, the mystery, the themes, the story, the ancestors, our ancestral lineage include the angelic, include the planets, the planet Earth. And so there is a delicate dance between the, like yesterday I had this fly buzzing around, so that something that's so minute. And I felt that also there's a spider in the web that's waiting, and just, that's that frequency. We'll just sit there after weaving my Bella is in the most delightful position. She's right on her back with her paws up. She's going, it's just talking about trust. I've never seen her, she's a rescue, be so relaxed. That's an ultimate relaxed position. She's not curled up in a ball protecting the core organ. She's totally on her back with her paws up in the air. So that feels very, there's a reflection of what I'm describing there. That makes my heart sing, this card. Sincerity. There's a depth, there's a holding, a rootedness, a groundedness, and an uplifting. Is I'm here, you're here, we're here to give a lending hand to each other. There's that support. It's also very transparent. That's word that's come up in the last few sharings. My higher self is, when I was asking how can we traverse all this, and my higher self went, how to traverse through transparency. And so that's dropped in again. No need to hide. Hiding through lying. But all that is hidden is not lies or shadow or dark. Some things are hidden because they reside in the myth and the mythical and the mystery, because they're like, seeds that need to grow dark in the earth before pushing out to the sun. Some words and hold such beautiful frequency that just a reminder of trust, loyalty, friendship, support and respect. That's a lot of different words that are coming together in a resonance. And I feel with the inverted matrix and the angst and the frantic frequency, energy, vibration, and the bombardment through the mind, that is a very different vibration. There's a stillness, a continuity, an openness, tranquility, transparency, an open-handedness, an open-heartedness, but very anchored. It feels very much like a willow tree. The roots are deep in the earth, and so the upper part, the tree, can be flexible and bend through all the movement of the elements. So thank you for being on this journey as I explored what they brought in, and I know there'll be more, because it was when we receive channeled information, it's like they bring in a book and we get shown like 2 pages. They go boom, choom, and then we kind of explore and we read, but we might not realise it's a whole book. So sending all of us always lots and lots of love. Lots and lots of love. I'm meaning it. Thank you for being you, and I look forward to my next share. Thank you for being you. Bye.